This is TradeFlow News, bringing you relevant news and insights from around the world. TradeFlow News, enabling trade for SMEs and economies worldwide.
These are some of the key topics that we will be looking into in today's program.
First, let's take a look at the overnight headlines which are impacting the commodity markets.
U.S. crude oil stockpiles rose while gasoline and distillate inventories fell last week as refiners ran at below seasonal lows due to planned and unplanned outages, the Energy Information Administration said on Wednesday. Crude inventories rose for the fifth consecutive week, increasing by 4.2 million barrels to 447.2 million barrels in the week ending February 23, the EIA said, compared with analysts' expectations in a Reuters poll for a 2.7 million barrel rise. Stocks at the Cushing, Oklahoma, delivery hub for U.S. crude futures rose by 1.5 million barrels last week to 31 million barrels, the EIA said.
6 tankers with Russian oil in ships sanctioned by the United States were sailing to Chinese ports this week, but it wasn't clear if they would be allowed to discharge, according to LSEG, Capola, Vortex's shipping data and 2 industry sources. Were China to buy oil in the tankers, it would help alleviate one of the worst gluts of Russian oil in the last 2 years caused by payment issues amid Western sanctions imposed on Russia due to its military actions in Ukraine. If China rejects the tankers, it would further worsen problems for Moscow, which has been struggling with Sokol oil sales and payments in recent weeks as Washington ramped up sanctions pressure.
Moving on to the top news in the energy sector.
Russia's 6-month ban on gasoline exports from March 1 has resulted in a 5.7% decline in wholesale prices in the state's domestic market in the 2 days to Wednesday, 2 traders said and Reuters calculations showed. On Tuesday, Russia's government restricted fuel exports for the second time in 5 months to keep fuel prices in its domestic market from rising. Since the start of the year, the most popular gasoline brand AI-92 wholesale price has increased by 22.4%. According to Reuters calculations based on the St. Petersburg exchange data.
New U.S. sanctions on Moscow are more likely than previous ones to cut Indian imports of thermal coal from Russia because they specifically cite top exporters Suk and Mekal, 3 major traders of Russian coal said. Russia, historically a minor exporter of the fuel to India, began boosting shipments to the South Asian country after Western sanctions against Moscow over its invasion of Ukraine. The latest U.S. sanctions also include Russia's payment system, financial institutions and energy production. Next, we have the top news in metal markets. Iron ore futures held in a tight range on Thursday as investors reassessed near-term demand prospects in top consumer China amid expectations of steel mills ramping up production despite lingering concerns about the property sector. The most traded May iron ore contract on China's Dalian Commodity Exchange traded 0.62% lower at 888 yuan, $123.41 a metric ton, as of 0215 GMT. The benchmark March iron ore on the Singapore Exchange was 0.37% higher at $116.45 a ton, as of 0217 GMT.
Gold prices remained steady on Thursday, and have held ground so far this month, despite bleak hopes for swift and deeper rate cuts in the United States as traders await a key U.S. inflation reading due later in the day. Spot gold was steady at $2,035.78 per ounce, as of 0419 GMT. U.S. gold futures edged 0.1% higher to $2,044.20. The personal consumption expenditures data is significant, with an upside surprise bringing downside risk for gold. Bullion is range trading at the moment and it's a surprise that it's holding up this well, said Kyle Rodder, a financial market analyst at Capital.com.
We will now look at the top news in the agricultural sector.
India hopes to reach a deal on a key element of agricultural reform as well as the restoration of the World Trade Organization's arbitration powers at a high-level meeting in Abu Dhabi this week, its trade minister said on Wednesday. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is expected to be one of the main players at the 4-day talks where delegates are seeking deals on fisheries and digital trade tariffs. Unless we build trust with each other and we deliver on what has already been promised and agreed, any engagement on other issues will only be subsequent, Goyal told Reuters on the sidelines of the meeting on Wednesday. That is all for today's news on commodity markets. Stay tuned to TradeFlow News as we continue to provide you with more updates. We also invite you to follow us on Twitter at TradeFlow News, which allows you to watch our program on your mobile device or desktop to receive information from there.